What do you see as your generation's greatest accomplishment?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Generation's greatest accomplishment, I'm lost with that. Just technology in general. I think of my phone being able to grow in technology.
What do you see as your generation's greatest accomplishment?
I think the greatest accomplishment is the spirit of change. There's always a better way of doing things. As the baby boomers went through the teenage years, throughout the whole life, they changed the world. We changed to find a lot of things that are in place today. We can look back and see that, hey, that worked, and it feels good.
What is the greatest misconception of your generation?
To the people who are older than we are, those whippersnappers, they change just for change's sake. Most of those people are gone now. Misconception is that we are irrelevant, we're stubborn, we don't like change, and we should be removed from the workforce. And that's the biggest misconception.
What do you see as your generation's greatest accomplishment?
Rock and roll.
What do you see as your generation's greatest misconception?
My generation's greatest misconception, dare I say free love, because that was the hippie thing, and everybody was, boinking everybody, and as well as I was. So, free love, it's a little more meaningful than just.
What do you see as your generation's greatest accomplishment, either current or in the future?
The greatest accomplishment would be the internet, because we can stay in contact with our friends and we can inform ourselves what's going on in other countries, and we can understand and deepen our knowledge of other regions in this world where otherwise we wouldn't have even had the possibility in former times.
What do you see as your generation's greatest misconception?
We spend more hours doing stuff on the internet rather than spending time with our friends. We lose the moment. So our greatest misconception is that we don't live in the moment, and that we are so concerned about social media that we sometimes forget about our real life. What do you see as your generation's greatest accomplishment?
My generation of the technology.
And the greatest misconception?
For my generation.
Yeah, for your generation.
Right now, that we're too old to do anything, or that we don't understand the technology that we created. It's an oxymoron.
What do you see as your generation's greatest accomplishment, either current or future?
Well, I think some of the changes that we made in society were really important. I think stressing the importance of equality across the genders when it came to work environments was extremely important. I can see the results of that when I see a younger girl thinking about possibilities, and they were possibilities that didn't exist 20, 30 years ago.
What do you see as your generation's greatest misconception?
I think the misconception of my generation at this point is to think that they're going to enter into traditional retirement. Just the way we have changed every stage of life along our way, we are going to change that as well. So I think the idea that planning and changing society is over and we don't have to think about that anymore, that's dead wrong. We definitely have to take a role in redefining our futures, just as we have in the past.